While investigators are still piecing together what happened on a Frontier flight that hit and killed a person on Friday night, some of the passengers have now filed a lawsuit saying the incident could have been prevented and caused psychological damage. Here to talk more about what it all means is 9 News legal expert Whitney Traylor. Thanks for coming in.
Sure, good to see you.
Really interesting. So why are the passengers suing the city of Denver instead of Frontier Airlines?
Right, well, the allegation here is that it was a security breach. So they're not saying necessarily that Frontier did anything wrong. They're saying that the city of Denver that runs DIA didn't maintain the security properly. And this gentleman, he climbed over an 8-foot fence. There was, I think, 4 foot of barbed wire on top of that. And so the question is, was the city of Denver in operating this fence, this security area, were they negligent? And that's essentially what they're saying. They're saying the design wasn't appropriate and they didn't notify the airlines as soon as they could have once they discovered that there was this security breach.
Do you foresee more plaintiffs and defendants being added to this lawsuit?
Maybe. So here there were, I think, 231 people on the flight. 12 people were injured, 5 went to the hospital. So I don't know who these potential plaintiffs are, but I'm assuming it's the people who were physically injured. So yes, there could be other folks who may not have even been physically injured who said, yeah, I suffered emotional distress, psychological distress. And that's very legitimate because here they said that they saw, they heard an explosion, there was smoke in the cabin, thank you. Some people said they actually saw the body go through the engine. I mean, these are things that we don't normally see on a day-to-day basis that would really have a psychological impact. So there could be more people, you know, as time goes on, maybe they start having symptoms, they have to go to the doc. So there could be more plaintiffs and more defendants if somebody's saying, well, it was the manufacturer or it was this company that didn't, you know, so they could start pointing fingers at each other.
Has a lawsuit actually been filed yet, or was this kind of like the formality leading up to it?
I think I looked as of last night, a lawsuit hadn't been filed.
Okay.
So what they filed was a notice of claim, which you have to do before suing the government.
Okay.
So here it's the Colorado Governmental Immunity Act. And so they have to file a notice of claim within I think 182 days of the incident. Then the city has an opportunity to try and resolve it. And if they don't, then they have to sue within 90 days. So there's specific time frames. So the notice of claim generally means that a lawsuit is coming.
Okay. You talked about how some of them were physically injured. Some went to the hospital, minor injuries.
Yes.
You also talked about the psychological impact of seeing something like that, right?
Yes.
You know, what could these, people who are suing end up getting in the end? What could they recover if they win this lawsuit or if there's a settlement?
That's going to be up to the jury. And this is why the jury system is so fundamentally important, because really there's 2 aspects to every case. Liability. So did they do something wrong? So here the first step is going to have to show that Denver, the city of Denver, was negligent in how they maintained this fence and the security and how they notified people once there was a breach. So if they can prove, yeah, they were negligent, they should have done more, it was foreseeable, that's the key word, that if they didn't maintain it properly, this could happen. So a lot of people say this isn't foreseeable. Somebody's going to jump the fence, try and jump in front of an airplane. So that's the first issue. And then the second issue is, okay, what are the damages? And some of it, the economic damages are easy. What were your medical expenses? How much work did you miss? What wages did you miss? Those types of things. But then you have the emotional distress. And there's a lot of people who are going to say, hey, man, you saw an accident, you were part of an accident, it's not that bad. There's a number of people who would say, seeing that, having smoke in the cabin, people screaming. We've seen this year so many aviation accidents. It was just, I don't know, a few weeks ago where the plane ran into the vehicle that was on the runway, and the pilots died in that situation. So I heard passengers who said, I thought I was going to die. And unless you've been in that situation, it's hard to really empathize with that. So it's going to depend on really how persuasive the attorneys are, how the experts testify, because there's going to be experts saying, yeah, this is going to be this kind of psychological damage for this many years. And then, of course, how the witnesses testify themselves. Are they credible? That's what the jury is looking at. is this person really suffering these types of psychological damages? They're having nightmares, they can't sleep, they don't want to be intimate with their partner, all of these kind of things. And then the jury assigns a number to that.
It'll be interesting to see what happens because this came on real fast. Sometimes you hear about this, weeks, months later. This just happened Friday night, and there's already a notice that they're going to file a lawsuit.
Yes.
So it'll be very interesting to see what happens. I'm sure you'll stay on top of it and let us know.
Sure will.
Whitney, thank you.
Okay.